Hey, do you guys want to buy a kingfish? You want to live in a crazy house even though you're not crazy? Are you in the market for two-headed monsters? If you just like listening to Mohr Stories every week, then you can help me out. Go to my website, jmohr.com, and click on the Amazon link on my website. If you're going to be shopping at Amazon anyway, why not help support Mohr Stories at the same time by going to jmohr.com, jaymohr.com, bleep, and then click on the Amazon link to their homepage, and then you can shop for whatever you want. Instead of me pushing a product on you, you can just simply go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com and get any product you want. I mean, I do a lot of favors for you, don't I? I ask you for one thing here, Henry. Go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com. Look, this is Harvey Keitel. Go to jmohr.com. Click the link. Who's going to be okay at Amazon.com through jmohr.com? Say the damn words. Do me a favor. Help us out. Help keep this podcast rolling. You know how much money I got to pay Matt Cohen every week? Go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com, and I will personally mail each of you $15 million. Part of this was made up. I am fired up. Fort Lauderdale, FLA, baby. The Improv, Friday, March 16th. I'm at the Fort Lauderdale Improv. I'm also there Saturday, March 17th. And, of course, the Cool Show, Sunday, March 18th. You know why it's cool? Because you got to go to work the next day, and you don't give a darn. As Colin Quinn would say, you don't give a care. You're going anyway, even though you got to go to work. West Palm Beach Improv, Thursday, March 22nd. Friday, March 23rd. Saturday, March 24th. Come on, peeps. Let's make it happen. And Canada? Where you at, Canada? America's tiny little hat. River Rock Casino in Richmond, British Columbia, March 30th. Thank you for listening to me blather. Now, on with the show.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts. This is a big day today because we have two guests, the stars of Talking Shit with Jim Jefferies, ... parentheses, and I guess Eddie Ift.
Thanks.
Hello.
Sure. Appreciate that.
This is our first guest from another continent, isn't it?
You've never had a foreign guest?
We've had people that were strange,
He's xenophobic.
foreign, and afraid of foreigners. Jeremy Guthrie's Mormon. He was a baseball pitcher.
You had him on here?
Baseball in Australia. Yeah, Graham Lloyd pitched for the Yankees.
I threw a pitch for the Cubs very poorly, didn't make the distance.
Australians probably aren't known for their fastball.
But I still find that I was booed. I found that,
I'll tell you-
unnecessary.
I'll tell you why you were booed. I thought about it.
Right.
Because in cricket, they don't break their elbow. They bowl the ball. It's called bowling. They throw it. You keep your arm straight, and you kind of like wind your arm and throw it. And that was his excuse. We don't throw a ball like that. But when you're in the outfield in cricket and you throw the ball in, you throw it like a baseball. So you should know how to throw.
No, I can never throw a cricket ball. When you get on there, like I assume you've done this before, done the first pitch thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
2 times. Once was horrible, and once I fucking smoked it up there.
I think I'd like to have another go at it.
You will.
Yeah. I think I'd like to have another
Those
go.
specials you strung together,
Yeah.
you'll get a go at it.
But it's like holding cancer. When you go out there, just that panic that they have.
Oh, yeah.
I think
And I was very sick that day as well. I know that's not an excuse, but I
Hungover or
remember
sick? Flu-like-
I had the flu actually. But
You know what they say in the NBA? Flu-like symptoms.
well, the thing when I don't know who this guy is, but this is what happened the day that I threw the pitch. Right, I went out there, and all the CAA people were there because it was the Chicago Comedy Festival. So my agents were all there. So they were all.
You're at CAA with Matt Frost?
No, not with Matt Frost, but
Nice
Nick
talking to you.
Safaro. So anyway, you get when agents show up at a gig, they start fluffing around you and they're in the dressing room and they just don't realize that 99% of gigs you do, there's no management involved.
It's disgusting.
And you're just fine. You can take care of yourself.
They're there for actual sliced cucumbers.
Yeah, you're not a child. You can
and a
do
bag
things.
of Frito chips. Like Barry Katz will just go to a Whitney taping and be like, "Good show tonight, man." And you're like, "Why are you here?" Like, she's not even your client anymore. He goes, "Have you tried the spicy chicken? Do you know Steve Small from Paradigm?"
So I go down there, and one of the exec ladies from fucking from the Cubs goes to me, "Oh, one of the players is a fan of yours, right?" And I didn't expect a baseball player to know who I was. So they take me down to the dugout, and there's this guy down. I don't know who he is, but he got ginger hair. I don't know his name, right? And they must have told me his name before I met him. And they were like, oh, he's a big fan. So we chatted about comedy, and we talked about one of my specials, and we sat in the dugout. And then I said, "Well, what are you doing today?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I'm a starting pitcher. I don't start again until Sunday." I go, "So why do they make you wear the uniform?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I could start. You know, there's a chance I could start, but I probably won't be starting. I could play if we go through the whole roster type of thing." I said, "So what are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm getting drunk." And he holds up his fucking, he holds up like his Gatorade cup, and I know the smell of Jack and Coke from a fucking distance, you know what I mean? And I went, "That's Jack and Coke." He goes, "Do you want one?" And I went, "I kind of do want one." I hadn't drunk for a while at that stage, right? And I went, "Yeah, I do." So he goes into the locker room, he comes back with a Jack and Coke, like, and a big pint of the stuff.
I wonder why the Cubs don't win.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm like, excellent, right? So then I threw my horrible pitch.
I'm like, excellent.
I watched the
Spicoli.
I watched the rest of the game. They win like 12-4 or something.
The Cubs win?
Yeah, huge.
Cubbies win.
A huge win. And so they say to me, "Do you want to meet the players afterwards?" And I said, "Sure, yeah, I'll meet them afterwards."
Probably pissed at this
They were
point.
in a good, I was drunk by that point. I had a show to do and all that type of stuff, right? So I go into the locker room, and they're all just walking around there naked. There's the people being interviewed at their lockers. And this cunt passed out in front of his locker inside his little chair.
Do you know his name?
He's a starting pitcher for the Cubs, and with red hair.
To get to the bottom of this one.
With red hair.
I gotta
Like,
find
let's
him.
just hope that the Cubs never go through their whole roster in one day, because
It
they're fucked.
never. I don't think it's really. It happens maybe once every 10 years.
Yeah.
And then, but with pitchers, they're just treated like such baby pussy thoroughbred horses, where you pitch and they got to rest you for 4 days.
Yeah.
And then you do on the third day you do soft toss, and then the second day you have to chart what the other
I love
pitcher
how you're giving me
does.
shit, but every time I meet a pitcher, they got fucking elbow surgeries and shoulder surgeries.
Yeah, but
they do throw their arms out, though.
They do
Yeah,
throw
but
their
in
arms
the black
out.
leagues, they did it every day.
That's
They're
right.
expected to go for 9 innings.
We call it the Negro Leagues.
I've watched the Ken Burns documentary of fucking 30 hours of baseball. I know everything.
Everything Ken Burns does is 30 hours. That guy must eat pussy.
Who is he?
And
I
the
don't know.
girl
I've only
goes,
seen-
I think that's enough, Ken.
Is he the guy who owns the documentaries, or does he interview or something? But you never see the guy. Ken never walks out and.
I Google search ginger Cubs, and it's all about gay. You know, there's bears and twinks. It's all redheaded, hairy fucking guys.
What's the opposite of a bear? A twink?
A twink. It's on my Twitter address. It says Jay Moore, former twink. Because I used to, wrestle at like one. By the way, I have to go back. Eddie Ift is the most like a cokehead of any non-cokehead you'll ever meet, because there's no subject you won't weigh in on with complete authority. You just told an Australian how fucking cricket works.
That's true.
That is like when you're railed out on coke and someone has a jet engine that won't start at Santa Monica Airport. You're like, "What do you got, a jet engine? What do you got to do? Have you tried taking this out right here, the jet engine? Just take this and unscrew it, and then you just fucking fly. Just fly over the other." Cricket, when you're on the outfield, you got to, cock your arm. I don't like
I've
cricket.
heard this about the cricket.
Oh, God.
I'm
Eddie
glad
Ift.
that Eddie's going to coach our team soon. The Australians aren't doing that well.
I like how Eddie Ift sat here in this chair and said, "Fucking Pittsburgh is a town of asshole drunks. I hope I never fucking go back. Fuck them. Fuck the town. Fuck Ben Roethlisberger, who rapes chicks in bathrooms." And then I had to cancel the Pittsburgh Improv to film the show Suburgatory, and I go, "I'm really sorry." They go, "It's okay. We got Eddie Ift. He's I go, and he's like, "Great room." I'm like, "Wow."
Did I tell you the story what happened? I told you.
Maybe.
You go back to Pittsburgh all the time.
I'm on stage and I'm doing the show, and Jay canceled like I literally filled in like maybe 2 weeks before or something.
Yeah, that's plenty of time to find a guy out. And they always get so mad, and I'll get right back. But I'm always like, well, look at the bright side. You don't have to go to the fucking safe to pay the guy.
Yeah.
Not you. But like when you go, all right, fuck it, we got Mexican guy to fill your spot, and we'll give him $1,200, and he'll be happy to have. Like then you make all the money.
$1,200.
Yeah, and the Mexicans get double
Mexican
your pay.
Mexican. He's all right.
I'm on stage, and a guy yelled out in the middle of the show, "I'm the king of the world." And I don't know if that's from your act or what.
No, it's not.
Okay, maybe
You weren't in Titanic?
That was Leo.
I was.
But the guy yells out, "I'm the king of the world," and I stopped and said, that's a pretty strange heckle. What was that? Like, can you please explain that? Because I just want to know your thought process. I didn't want to come back at it. I just want to know why somebody would blatantly yell out, "I'm the king of the world." So then the guy starts getting at me, and I am making fun of him, and all of a sudden he goes, "You're not even supposed to be here."
I get that just in the street.
And I go, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Jay Mohr's supposed to be here." And I go, "Are you a Jay Mohr fan?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, so obviously this guy bought tickets, and this is why they get mad. Cause someone like him bought tickets to see you, then he gets stuck with me, so he's fucking angry. So he's screaming at me. He tells the audience, "Come on, we're all leaving." Like they're all gonna go.
Yeah, I've seen
You're
that.
right. And he starts to try to rile them up. He goes, "All he's doing is shitting on Pittsburgh." Cause I was making fun of Pittsburgh. He's shitting on our city. "Come on, everybody." And I go, "Who's going with him?" And I wanted to see him, like, how many people he can get. I go, "Everybody go with him. Whoever's with him, go." And he starts kind of coming towards the stage. And I'm like, oh.
Why does every show you do involve someone I mean, when it happens to Jim Jefferies, it's on YouTube as a statistical anomaly.
Yeah.
And then he comes back out, finishes the show to the
It's not an anomaly.
Piccadilly Circus comedy store.
No, that was at Manchester Comedy Store.
What happened was
You could have fucking taken that guy.
I didn't know I was going to get hit.
Yeah, it's
the guy
element of
just
surprise.
ran on. Everyone always says that. Why don't you do anything? If someone just runs up to you and punches you in the street, your first reaction isn't to punch him back. Your first reaction is, "What are you doing?"
Unless you're John Glenn, you know him? You're Australian.
The guy who went to the moon first? No, he went to space.
He spacewalked first, but he was a senator and he was doing an interview on C-SPAN and somebody just ran by and punched him in the face. He was about 72 years old at the time.
Yeah.
He chased the fucking guy down and just bullied the shit, just got him down and gave him the business.
I didn't know that.
Every time I try to find a redheaded Cubs pitcher, it keeps coming up, Ginger Beaumont, 1908 Chicago Cubs.
No, well, he's got it. It's all clippered, but he's obviously a ginger.
And what's a twink still? I want to know.
A twink's a fag. That's not a bear.
Which one?
That's tiny and skinny, like ribs showing, like.
I'd be a bear. You'd be a twink.
Yeah, you'd be a twink without
twink.
that cool hockey playoff beard. You look good.
Yeah, but I think if I'd definitely be a pitcher. There's no way I'd catch if I was gay.
Then what's the point of being gay if you're going to pitch? Who cares? You can just get a girl and hate fuck her.
Yeah,
If you're going to be gay, fucking do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Lay down, hold your ankles, and let
Next, you're going to say I wouldn't kiss them and I wouldn't give blowjobs. I'd only put it in their eyes.
All right.
That's a very selective gay you've got there.
I'd be the best blowjobber of all time.
Here it goes again.
I know. It always comes back around. Touching weens when we were kids. Jim Jefferies, one of my favorite specials, because you just tell. I know you from Opie and Anthony.
Right.
And I called.
You rang in once and abused me on Opie and Anthony, and I didn't know who
as
you were.
Colin Quinn. I wasn't really abusing you.
Can you do Colin? I heard you do it. It's the best.
All right. Eddie If rolls into the driveway. He goes, "Open the gate. I'm coming in." The guy behind you is driving the General Lee. Maybe let him pull up next to the Range Rover, Eddie If goes, "Let me sit on the exercise ball and engage my core during the interview." Jim Jefferies has a Cubs hat, New York Jets sweatpants, and Smoke Newport's free t-shirt. Everything you wear is free, you degenerate. All right. When do you get on the elliptical? Bang out 10 minutes.
Do you watch or do you read Colin Quinn's Twitters?
Colin Quinn is the single greatest tweeter
by far
in the history of Twitter.
I hate
Twitter, but yeah, go on.
All he does is try to upset everyone.
He goes, I finally got a sponsor for all my tweets. It's the Rahman Abdullah Palestinian Defense League. And everybody's like, oh my God. But then what makes it great.
The responses are amazing.
One person, when he goes, Gaddafi died. We could all agree he was a great man that made a few bad decisions in life,
Like that's the tweet. And then people are tweeting, well, then why don't you kill yourself and move there? And I'm like, wow, you just told him to kill himself and then move there. Like, these people are so stupid.
But that is the American go-to argument is that why don't you move there? Why don't you leave if you don't like it?
Love it or leave it.
Well,
What is it in Australia? Hold on, if you were on already. This guy's a big shot. It's amazing. You invite him to the
Australia has the same policy. If
You
don't
invite him
love
to the
Australia-
States, he shows up a headliner. And you're Mexican filling in for me for $1,200.
I still have the smaller room in the house, though.
You know what's funny? When he was on the podcast, he's explaining the dynamic of your relationship. Everything's nice. And he goes, I'm in Australia, and then I meet Jim, and it's a whole thing. He spoke very nicely of you, and he goes, then Jim wants to come to LA. And I'm like, whatever, dude. And then I immediately got hysterical, like, Mr. Anger, people rushing the stage. He just assumes that you're going to come and be drowning like him.
And take it, yeah.
You show up, you have 2 fucking
I
specials.
got an HBO special in 6 weeks. Yeah, it wasn't.
What's the Australian? It's love it or
was
leave it.
fucking believable.
Unbelievable. You said that like
It's
Barry Katz.
unbelievable.
I got my HBO special. I had a meeting with an exec. Like when you first get here, they take you to all the execs' houses, right? Like fucking offices, and they give you that chat. They do that whole.
Really great.
It's really great. Yeah, we're big fans.
By the way, which one is pink?
Yeah, exactly. So they start doing all that conversation, and then I went and did Jim Norton's Down and Dirty, which I think Jim Norton vouched for me to do it, right? And then one of the execs,
He's despicable and I love him. Yeah.
one of the execs who was in the meeting with me 3 weeks earlier comes up and goes, "Why have we never heard of you?" And I thought I could play this 2 ways. I could go, "I just met with you 2 weeks ago," and I go, "I just got here last week," and then all of a sudden I had the special.
He didn't even remember meeting you.
See, you played it right.
I also texted, so what is the Australian love it or leave it? Like the Australian,
If you don't like it, get out. Yeah, fucking.
but people don't
The country's
really,
constantly going down the toilet. Since I was a child, everyone keeps on going, this country's going to shit. This country's fucked. It's the best place in the
they let
world.
in some immigrants. They get mad whenever there's immigrants in the
But
country.
our Mexicans are more like, it's Japanese and Chinese people.
but we're both a country of immigrants.
And the
Yeah,
Afghani,
exactly.
And the Afghani
well, see, the
boat
thing is, in
people.
my school was 60% Asian. And so it was,
Ugh.
it was an actual thing in my school because they work so hard.
What'd you call them?
Asian.
No, what was your racist name?
Rock apes. And so, like, when you'd finish school, you know when your mother would ask you how you did in the exam, and you could only say your rank. You couldn't say your percentage because it might have been an easy exam where everyone did good.
Yeah.
Where did you come in the class? And then you go 17th, but 4th out of the white kids.
That's
that
good.
was an actual, because
the original
your mum
bell
knew you
curve.
couldn't compete with the Asian kids. They were working really fucking hard.
But why rock apes? Why
I get
rock?
amazed by this, too.
What is it about?
Because their faces don't move a lot. It's not a nice term.
Well, I've heard wall biters.
We call them PowerPoints in Australia because our PowerPoints go like that. They're slanted down with a...
Like an exclamation point?
Yeah. Like, so the PowerPoints, slopes.
Yeah, I asked on the set of Suicide Kings, I said to Christopher Walken.
I work with Peter O'Fallon.
He's terrific.
We're doing a pilot together for FX. We've just filmed the pilot.
Tell him I said hi.
He told me the story of how he met you.
Oh yeah, you want me to tell it on the podcast?
I can tell you can tell the real story. I can tell what I've heard. He went along and he had to meet, he was, some agent said that he had to see you, right?
They weren't signing off on me for the part.
Yeah. So they went to see you and you were meant to be an angry guy in this movie. You were going to be an angry guy in this movie.
Yeah.
And during 5 minutes of your set, you just sort of broke down and said, fucking hell, there's some movie director here to see me. And you went in the audience and started punching people.
No.
Well, that's what Peter O'Fallon says.
Well, that's because Peter's a crazy person that went from directing film to television. So he's always going to come from behind that shadow to tell his stories.
He likes you.
I love him. But get someone fucking threw ice at me, apropos of nothing, in a very Eddie Ift version of just a night. This is just every night to Eddie, but to me it's very rare for someone to chuck ice onto stage and hit me in my eye. And
I would kill them.
I went out into the audience. There's those railings,
What club was it?
the Laugh Factory. So
Right.
they're even to you on the sides.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I just go to the left and I got my fist as the guy on Ultimate Fighter. Hands tight. Hands tight. What's his name? The British Bisbing. So I got hands tight And I'm going, who fucking threw it? And guys are standing up, but only to stand up to keep me from seeing their dates because I must have had like a look in my eye, like I'm a crazy guy. Yeah. But every time a guy stands up, I think he's standing up because I threw the fucking ice. What are you going to do about it? So I go after him and they're like, I didn't fucking do it. So then like that guy goes, it was like, I was like a bowling ball going through pins. And so no one and I go, no one's going to fucking confess to it. And I look up and here's the thing. The backstory is Peter O'Loughlin. I said, I'm going to be there Friday at about 10 o'clock. That'll be great. I'm also there Saturday at 12, which means I won't get on until about 1:30. It's going to be a mess. It's not the best time to see me. Yeah. And he goes, I can't. I got my kids Friday, whatever it was. So after I like hit 3 audience members in the face, I look up into the balcony and I go, you couldn't fucking see me last night. You couldn't fucking see me last night. And I go, show's over. I can't even believe it. And I get to my car. And they're out on the, they somehow beat me to the valet because I had to swim through these people. And then I'm out at the valet and I'm just like stewing like, fuck. And then Peter O'Loughlin says to the investor producer, and we're all together, and he goes, so what do you think about him for the part of Brett? And this guy like mistakenly goes, well, he's supposed to play an asshole, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
And I go, are you fucking kidding me? And then Peter goes, all right, why don't we all just get in our cars? But I got the part.
So that probably got you the part.
Worked out. The same thing didn't happen for Michael Richards.
No.
No, he never got in the color purple too.
Oddly, if they were doing American History X, they would have went, well, what are
Did you see him in that movie as one of the skinheads?
Hey. Guidance counselor. I don't know who the fuck impression that was. Yeah. I asked Christopher Walken what was the hardest part about filming The Deer Hunter. I mean, 6 months in the jungle in the Philippines and the torture scenes and the roulette scenes. And he looks at me and he just goes, the slopes. I go, excuse me? He goes, they're disgusting creatures. And like, hand to God. And he gets this faraway look in his eye, like he's remembering, like I brought him to the moment. But in the movie, he's duct taped to a chair, so he can't move. So it's just his head goes up like a Hall of Presidents robot. He just looks up and he goes, they're very passionate expectators. And I didn't know what that, I go, what? He goes, spitting. Come on, use your brain. They spit constantly. You're down there getting tortured and the guy holding a bounce card. Oh, we're down here. So apparently the crew just, when they're down there in that water up to their chest, the guys up top, like bringing in the rigs and bringing in laying tracks are just, we're just spitting next to De Niro and Walken goes, oh, we're down here.
That's not all Asian cultures though. Which country were you in?
No, this was here. He was in, I think, the Philippines.
Yeah, Philippines are spitters.
They're huge.
They're spitters. Chinese are spitters.
Aren't there areas where you're not alled to spit? You get arrested.
No, Singapore, you can't chew gum. They'll fuck you up.
Yeah, what if you act like you're chewing gum?
Well, that would.
I'm being serious. What
that'd be like impersonating a cop.
Yeah.
Really?
Is it
that strict? Oh, that's where they cane that guy.
Yeah. They don't like gum. I had a mate who worked for Visa in Singapore, and he used to like bring gum strapped into his body, like he thought it was like for his fellow co-workers.
Have you been to Singapore?
No, I've turned it down a couple times because it just.
That's where 4 Floors of Whores is.
There's a
brothel. I use that name for the brothel story in Australia, but that's not what it's called in Australia. But there's a brothel in Singapore called 4 Floors of Whores, where it's just like thousands.
Are they rock apes or are they like an offshoot?
Oh no, they're all Asians. I don't call them rock apes now. This is something I did when I was 16.
No, I know. But Singapore is like a different, like Koreans don't like to be called Japanese.
Yeah, no, it's.
They're singies.
They're all the same. Anyway, so they've got like on the first floor is like I'm telling you, like 800 heterosexual hookers.
Right.
And then you've got like lady boys.
What floor is that one?
That's like the second floor, and then there's like a floor that's like old birds, and then there's like a floor that's mystery bag.
So which one is mystery bag? Like you don't have enough money,
Mystery
or you're
bags,
like I'm fucking
glory hole.
everyone's up there,
Like a
and
glory hole
you're
room?
taking your
Yeah.
chances. And
That's where Jim Norton would go.
Yeah.
no, exactly, yes. Now the thing
But
is,
you would think, hold on, you would think the old birds would be on the first floor because it's hard for them to get up there.
maybe they can't get down.
And you would think the lady boys would be up top, like as a prize.
I'm
Like,
just
if you
saying that
gotta
the most
earn it.
valuable ones, that the
Street
high
level.
end stock are on the bottom as soon as you walk in.
Just like selling any merchandise, the shiny shits in the window.
Exactly, yes.
All right.
But what they do is because, okay, the common thought is that they all look the same to us, but we all look the same to them, type of thing, right? So what they do is they pick, just to work your ego, they pick like a celebrity that you look vaguely like, right? To walk in. So I had my hair in a quiff then. This is like 6 years ago when I had more hair.
When you were in a skiffle band.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I get Jackie
And the-
Earl Haley.
And the girls are,
Oh, timeout. That's too good.
The girl- what did he
Don't
say?
step in his garden. Let him get some sunshine. That was awesome.
Kelly Leak.
He said, I get Jackie Earl Haley.
who's Jackie O'Haley?
A guy that looks like him that
Kelly
played a
Leak
child.
from the Bad News Bears.
He's
Oh,
like,
yeah, he does look like him.
Yeah.
He went on to be,
Freddy
fucking
Krueger.
Freddy
And it was
Krueger.
fucking horrible. My wife had the best point. How come all murderers in movies have to have like puns and jokes?
Yeah, well, but
Well, I guess all's well that ends well. Like, just
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
stab me, stupid. You're Freddy Krueger. You don't have to have
No, 'cause
time.
it is kind of insulting that they do a pun to you and then kill you.
Well,
yeah, but it's
more
also insulting that they're the most describable person on earth. Like, if you cause a crime, don't wear the same jumper every day.
well, I think he was dead. and
Yeah,
he
but
can't-
like, then you got Jason and all those other ones that are, you
Good
know.
luck catching
what is he
them.
gonna do? Walk into fucking merry-go-round and pick out parachute pants? I mean, how is Jason Voorhees?
I just
He
like,
shops in
I like
dumpsters.
serial killers. I like your Ted Bundys
Yeah.
and your things where you go, it's a regular guy. I'll help you carry your books. That's the,
By
right?
books, I mean parts.
Yeah. So anyway, so I go in and they start going, Elvis, Elvis. And you do get that bit of ego where you go, oh, really? Oh, thank you, girl.
I'm all shook up.
I'm with a bald guy, comic who's a bald guy, and all he got was, Bruce Willis. Like that's
that
their
one.
bald guy reference. That's their only bald celebrity that they have to
And that
work
guy
with.
immediately looked up and said, "Welcome to the party, pal."
How much are the whores there?
In Singapore?
Not Dubai prices.
Dubai, they were $50.
Yeah, not Dubai prices. They're about double Dubai prices. But the problem with hookers in these foreign countries is
$50.
they say
That's bad.
what they
Good?
do is
Everything.
they say for the whole night.
Yeah, $50.
No, I don't want a hooker for the whole night. I like
I don't
an
have
hour.
9. I got 4.
Yeah,
When
I
I
just
fo-
want the hour and then sleep. I don't want to see you afterwards. I don't want to cuddle with you.
I don't want to get peed on.
What they really want is a bed for the night.
Yeah. When,
in Dubai?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dubai,
In-
because they're staying in these fucking youth hostels with 8 different bunks, and you're staying in a 7-star hotel.
So they want you to
they
take
always
them
ask
back.
you when
Yeah.
you go in Hong Kong, they do it too. As soon as they meet you, they go, "Where are you staying?" They want to know where you're staying.
Jackie O'Haley.
Oh, bad news bear. I like when you gotta go to Japan, chase around base. You stole second base literally. Pick it up off the ground.
Nice motorcycle.
I think he looks like one of the Jackass guys.
Oh, I get that a lot too.
Which guy's that?
Dave England.
Dave England, yeah.
I don't know
I get
them.
Dave
Once
England,
the
I get
guy
Nicolas
let
Cage.
the snake bite his dick, I tapped out. That scared the shit out
Wait,
of me.
I
Yeah,
need
you
to
thought
tell-
that was
I
going to
need-
be the rest of the
I need
movie?
to
You
tell you
didn't
this
know
about-
that bit would be over and you could enjoy the rest?
But I mean, it really fucking got me. Like, oh my god, he just. let
That
us-
stunt they
I
did
think that
with
was
the Porsche
Steve-O.
over the cliff, for mine was their riskiest one.
Which one?
The one where they drove the Porsche over the cliff.
And how did they let?
Did they dive
That's
out of
when
it?
Ryan Dunn died. I'm just taking a joke.
Apparently,
cliff,
if
he hit a
you
tree.
mention Ryan Dunn, people get their fucking panties in a
crazy.
bunch. Like
well,
Amy Schumer took a lot of shit
We'll
about
see
Charlie
how it
Sheen
works
roast.
out for us. I don't know.
No one listens to this.
I've gigged with Steve-O.
How's Steve-O doing?
Steve-O's got that voice because he's vomited so much that his esophagus is ripped to shit.
And he just kind of
He
lights.
lights his hair on fire. The club I just did, they said,
How do you have hair left?
It's just when a joke goes bad.
bald or-
I like my chest on my hair when I'm, but my hair,
Chest hair?
chest hair.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I like that when I'm bored, laying on my back in a hotel room and then pat it out.
That's normal.
I've gotten used to the smell now.
You should shoot it out with jisms.
Yeah,
He'll do it if you tell him. He told us last night on the podcast how he
once a month.
once
this
a
happens.
month a load comes out while he's jerking off and hits the back of his throat.
I
and he
shoot a lot of
gurgles it.
distance, and
Make
once
the
a
noise,
month
make
I'll be
the noise.
masturbating, and then like a load will like go straight in, like swish in, but it will go straight to the back of your throat. and you'll do that, but then you'll start giggling to yourself because it is funny.
And it tastes like buttermilk and Clorox.
Yeah, so you'll go.
Who knows what Clorox tastes like?
It smells like Clorox.
Okay.
It tastes like buttermilk.
I don't think it tastes like buttermilk.
What do you think
It doesn't
tastes
have
like?
that much of a taste, though, does it? It's like-
Well, how do you know if it's hitting your uvula in
He
the back of
checks
your
it all the
throat?
time.
I have. When you're a teenager, there must have been that moment in your life where you had a bit of cum on
Like
your
it says
hand.
when he was a teenager.
When you go,
you say you do it like weekly to make sure it's good.
No, I do test it now because I'm a sensitive lover. I want my cum to taste nice because I know that at times, because of my diet and my lifestyle, that my cum can be a bit nasty looking.
You're chicken wings and Guinness. You're a comic. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you act like you go on these like pineapple benders to make your jizz taste.
No, but
well.
I drink vodka and pineapple is my drink, but I also like pineapple juice on a regular basis, and pineapple obviously does make it taste sweeter, and that's not a myth. It does work.
I texted Eddie, should I buy beer for Jim? And he texts back, no, Jim's not drinking this week.
Yeah, I'm not drinking this week. I'm off work. Yeah, I'm off
What do you
work.
mean not this week? Like what? I don't understand the schedule you
He
have. Jim
rehabs
Jefferies.
about 12 times a year.
So you go to rehab 5 days at a time your entire life.
No, I don't go to rehab. I
meant, you know.
I did 8 months off completely. That
Yeah.
was pretty exciting.
What made you jump back into the game?
I missed it for 8 months.
Yeah.
But I'm not as bad as I was before that. But when I get drunk, I'm fucked.
No, when he's drunk, as long as I've known him, when he gets drunk, I fucking just evacuate. I'm out of the area.
Why? You want
Girls
to,
think I'm
shit's
delightful.
Are you likes to fight guy?
No,
That's him.
No, I don't fight with people.
I fight. The shirt comes off and I'm in fucking McDonald's throwing punches.
I love that story.
I'm gonna stand on the bar with my cock
Do you
out
know?
type of guy.
Do you know where I did that? That's the video that's on the internet. Where did you see the guy? He's behind the counter. The girls come in to break a 50. He won't break it. The girl, 2 lesbians. Girl starts mouthing off. She punches him in the face.
Yeah, West
and the one
4th
goes
Street.
over the counter. That's the McDonald's where I tried
I
to
know
fight
you
everyone.
said it's sitting here. You
But
fucking
that video-
Have you
non-memory.
seen the
Dude.
footage of the guy beating him with
The
a stick?
dude beats her with a stick.
Oh, that's good.
She chases him.
No, he doesn't just like get out of here. He's like fucking.
He beats her, then
Whoa.
beats the other
Wouldn't
one to
you?
the ground.
Huh?
And beats two
Yeah,
of them to
I
the
would.
ground.
I
Yeah, I
would
would
even if
too.
she didn't ask to break the 50. Even if
If
she
she just came in and said,
if she
can I,
just ordered a burger, I would
can I get a
McNuggets.
number 2 and supersize it? I'd be like,
Can I get 7
what?
McNuggets? It's
What?
6 or 12.
Supersize it?
Yeah.
What am I here to amuse you like a fucking clown? Supersize your french fries, you stupid drunk bitch.
He beats them to death almost. And he was just newly out of prison.
And that's
for
the West
manslaughter.
4th Street McDonald's.
Yes.
You can watch it on YouTube.
It's awesome.
What made, so did you think ahead of time like, oh man, Wednesday?
I had some liver problems, and they're all cleared up now.
What? How old are you?
I'm 34.
But you play 32.
Yeah,
You're 34 years old with liver, they don't clear up. It's not acne.
no, they do because I got it early. It's not like I didn't get cirrhosis. I had the early stages of an enlarged liver, and as long as you don't,
I have a fatty liver.
yeah, as long as you leave it for a while, it will fix itself up.
Really?
Yeah, the organs can regenerate as long as you don't fuck them to a stage where they're fucked.
Have you
That's
guys,
a medical term. I just used that.
you guys did a podcast that lives in infamy. It's the one where everyone decided to get as drunk as humanly possible and then do a podcast.
With
Yeah.
example, yeah.
People are
Yeah.
punching each other in the face.
That guy is so famous
There
in the
are,
UK.
there are other things involved.
The homeless guy?
No.
Oh no, that guy that came over. He was a
came
fan of
over.
you guys.
He has 27 million hits on his YouTube clips, and he's had 3 or 4 number ones, and
And he listens to our podcast.
well, I've been friends with him from before.
What's his name?
His name's
Example.
And he's
And he's
he was
white.
famous with like 14-year-old girls. He's a white rapper from Fulham, right? Like he's
Now, if you're gonna pick your audience,
yeah,
Jim Jefferies and Eddie Eft, you got to pick a demographic. No matter where you go, it's sold out.
yeah.
I mean, they're only gonna grow older with you.
Yeah. But the thing is, he used to be a rapper, and then he figured out there was more money in dance music, so he started singing, and he just never sung before, and just gave it a go.
And they
It's
just auto-tune him.
That's like everybody
auto-
here.
yeah. And he's not like he's amazingly good looking. He's just
He's just one of those weird
He has
guys
hit the
that
jackpot like no one I've ever seen in my life.
So 14, 15-year-old girls go to
Yeah.
example shows and throw themselves at him,
he is
sort
a
of.
good rapper, but we got him
And he's
fucking
funny. He's
tanked,
funny,
and
too.
there was other substances involved. That was actually when I fell off the wagon. That was the end of the 8 months.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and then we
Oh,
decided.
so you got tanked quick.
Yeah, and then we decided we were going to.
No. You were drinking because we went to this bar and we were drinking pints like they were drinking like they do in England, and you drink a pint of beer, and you guys were going 2 for 1 of mine.
Yeah.
And they were just
because
fucking
we were
going
doing that
and
English
going.
thing where we were like, yeah,
See who can drink
and calling
more.
the Americans fags and Just
Why
trying
are you Australian or
I'm
English?
Australian. I'm Australian. But I lived in England for 8 years.
Do you guys fucking sing in pubs too in Australia?
No. Well, yeah.
What is it about Irish and English people? They're like, oh, Danny, boy.
What are you talking about? Have you ever seen Sweet Caroline come on in America?
But
and
that's
every
like an actual,
douchebag,
like a
retarded frat
jukebox.
boy.
Yes.
Australians
Brown-eyed girl, the song of ugly girls everywhere.
Yeah.
The same shit.
Brown-eyed girl. Like, what better way to let everyone in the bar knows you're a fat, ugly girl than start singing along to Brown-eyed girl. That is the fat girl anthem. Hey, where do we go?
I always think the fat girl anthem is Shania Twain's.
You don't impress me
That
much?
don't impress me much.
Who do you think you are, Brad? And they act it out with their hands.
Oh yeah. Like they're dancing in front of their fucking trucker boyfriend. They're fat, going, so you've got a car. That don't impress me much. And you're like, oh my god.
What's
You're
your favorite? What
horrific.
music do you
Or
listen
don't
to?
you wish my girlfriend was hot like me when you see an ugly girl dance like that? And all my girlfriends have been hotter than you.
Yeah.
And you've, like, no hot girl ever dances to that song.
My wife was in Not Even the Pussycat Dolls. They're all fucking pigs, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugh, I look at them, I'm like, these are supposed to be the hot fucking, this is the hot group? Nicole Scherzinger?
Yeah.
Like, Dane Cook fucked her. How hot are you? And I like Dane, but I'm like, if you're fucking comics, you're not like, Giselle is fucking Tom Brady, a Super Bowl MVP. Like, if you're going to the Laugh Factory to get dick, you're not as hot as you think.
Tom Brady's.
Well, she replaced Cheryl Cole on the X Factor because Cheryl Cole is the hottest piece of ass ever.
She's on the cover of Red magazine all the time.
She's the hottest
I know my
fucking
British
thing ever,
mags.
yeah. But she was meant to be the judge out here for X Factor, but they couldn't understand her accent or something, so they replaced her with, not funny.
Nicole Scherzinger.
Nicole Scherzinger.
Doesn't have to be funny.
I'm just thinking about what a great life Tom Brady has. Like, not only is he the hottest wife in the world, but he's got a kid with, like, the second hottest.
Bridget Moynihan?
Yeah.
Who tried to talk shit about Tom Brady. Tom Brady kept his mouth closed. And then Giselle, he's married to the hottest woman in the world, like, just raises her stepkid like it's her kid. Then they quietly get married at St. Monica's with no fanfare. Like, how does Tom Brady and Giselle get married at St. Monica's and no one knows about it?
I look at guys like Tom Brady, I'm like, he has to get depressed because he knows life can't get better. Like,
I don't know about that.
like, you've reached
He's just another Super Bowl away from it getting better.
But he's got the Super Bowl, but like, he'll never fuck a girl hotter than Giselle, ever. It's like he's reached the pinnacle of all women. It's like, what are you gonna do? There's nothing
Sarah Silverman.
You'd laugh in bed afterwards. She's very quirky.
Did you hear Norm McDonald? He's on Open and Anthony. He goes, Sarah Silverman. Hey, who's funnier than Sarah Silverman? You know, except a whole bunch of dudes.
She got fucking done in Britain, though.
I think
they
Eddie
really
Brill
got
said
angry.
that too.
She played the Hammersmith Apollo in Britain, did 40 minutes, and they're used to comics doing an hour and a half at least if you're headlining.
Yeah.
It was her first time over,
but it's 5,000 people in the audience. You can't do 40 minutes.
She got off the plane. It was one of those, like, you got
But
jet
she
lag.
sort
She
of
went in.
talked
She
like
didn't-
the British would be so happy to have her there. The British have fucking great comics. It was,
I would like to think that if and people listening, a lot of people listen in England to this, like, I can't wait to go to England or Australia and do comedy and not to be like a puss in front of, like, I'm surrounded by manly men right now. All right. Don't make a big deal out of it. But I would hit the stage like, I can't believe this is happening. This is the best.
I think Britain's the best place to perform in the world.
But I'll explain what I
Can
think
you put a word in
happened to her.
for Norton? Put the word. Eddie, we're doing business now, please.
No, because this is.
I
pissing
can
me
get,
off.
I can get,
Shut up. I'm
I can
disgusted
get
with
you
the
gigs.
two of you.
I can get you gigs in the UK.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Sarah, I think what happens in America, if you're famous and you go on stage, the audience is just happy to see you. The fact that they're seeing somebody famous, they're going crazy, and your jokes don't matter. In the UK, if you're famous, you better trump that. You better be even better than your
There's a famous story where Chris Rock got booed off stage at the Comedy Store.
At Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Why?
Because he went on.
You can't try shit. It's from what you're telling me.
He went down there to try stuff out.
It sounds to me like you don't
go.
go.
And that's the best comedy club in the world.
Where in England do you work shit out? In your flat?
You can do it in a pub or something, but you don't do it at the Comedy Store.
But in the pub, that's where he gets fucking attacked all the time. Every Eddie Ift comedy story ends in people going, well, let's fucking go outside
No, I
and
haven't
fight.
done that in a while.
That's what
Except,
you said last
Pittsburgh.
time.
I'll tell you-
And then in
when-
Pittsburgh,
when
the
I
guy...
got-
That
when
was
I
so
got-
random. That was
You had a
'cause
fucking
you brought
pipe.
it law of attraction. It was your fault because you were in the room. Sort
He
of.
had the Pied. He had
It
Pied
was your
Piper of
fan.
hecklers.
It was
Who's
your
coming
fan.
with me? He let all the rats and hecklers
Do you
out
know
of town.
Brendan Burns? You know Brendan Burns?
Yeah.
Okay, when Brendan Burns, he's a similar comic to me in the sense that we're both Australians that yell a lot. And so me and Brendan are very good friends, but I guess we're a little bit competitive with each other, but nothing nasty. And when Brendan Burns saw the footage of me getting punched in the head, allegedly this is what he said. He went, "Oh, for fuck's sake! Fuck's sake!" He goes, "I've been punched 7 times, and that cunt gets punched once, and he gets it on film."
Why were they taping that night?
It was the security camera.
And your manager was smart enough to throw it up on YouTube the next day. Jim called me.
What we did was the club owner, we said, "We'll take the rights and we won't sue." And they went, yeah. Reckon I own
Who's
it.
your manager?
I got a Brett Benson in the
Smartest
UK.
guy ever.
Is he in the what?
Brett Benson, a guy in the UK.
Brett Vincent sounds like he was in Poison. It sounds like he was
Brett
a
Michael.
rock and roll, like the fifth BG. Who's the most? I did a show on Fuel TV called Master Debaters, and we really got into a heated argument of what's the biggest thing to come out of Australia ever.
ACDC.
That's what I said, and everyone's
Yeah,
like,
AC/DC.
"What about?" And I'm
But
like,
see, the problem with ACDC is
Olivia Newton-John.
they moved over to Australia when they were 9.
"From where?"
Well, the
Singapore.
Young brothers were Scottish, and so the new singer was he's from Newcastle in England.
Brian Johnson.
But like they, it started in
The
Australia.
real singer,
but also the
Bon
Bee
Scott
Gees,
was Australian.
The Bee Gees Australian.
Yeah, but they're horrible.
But a lot
Yeah,
of
but
things,
fucking big. Man.
you, man, have broken heart?
a lot
Robin
of,
Gibb
a lot
will be
of
dead
Australian things-
soon.
A lot of
He's
things
the
that are
only one
Australian
left,
aren't
right?
Australian.
Yeah, he's looking sick. He'll be dead soon.
Mel Gibson.
I'm
isn't
sick of
really
him.
Australian. Mel Gibson's American. Wasn't he born in America?
He was born in America.
And then Russell Crowe was born in New
New
Zealand.
Zealand. He was
So
born
they're
in
not
New Zealand.
really.
New Zealand's about. Come on.
No, completely.
He's not a
different
fucking Maori.
No,
He's
but
not
this is
playing
the
for
whole
the.
thing.
He's not playing for the All Blacks.
They moved over there when they're 5. He doesn't choose to fucking live in New Zealand. He still lives in Australia. He's Australian.
Nicole
he
Kidman.
owns South Sydney Rabbitohs. Russell Crowe's fucking Australian. Nicole Kidman's Australian. Elle McPherson, who's still the hottest bird at 50 ever.
Crocodile Hunter.
Yes.
Paul Hogan.
But
No, Orlando Bloom's
Guy
British.
Pearce. Well, let me ask you a question.
Nicky
God,
West-
this is
Nick-
gay as the day is long. I
Nikki
reckon.
Webster.
Kylie
Hugh
Minogue.
Jackman.
Nikki Webster. Okay, we'll tell a story about that.
Who's Nikki Webster?
Nikki Webster was remember when the Sydney Olympics happened and the little ginger girl came out and said, "In the dream time, Australia was a different place." And she's walking around like the world's amazing. And then kangaroos bounced out and all that type of stuff, right? She was maybe about 5 during the 2000 Olympics, right? 2 years ago, Eddie goes over to Australia and fucks her. She'll always...
When she was 8,
she'll always be a 5-year-old girl to me.
I didn't know who she was.
she was a 5-year-old girl in his mind.
Yeah.
In 2000, she would have been 8.
I didn't know who
So
she
she was probably 18 by the time you got to
How
her.
old was she when you had her?
like 18, 19. And I didn't know who she was, and we did a TV show together, and we're coming back from the TV show, and the driver.
I want this story in its entirety, but you gotta understand, as like a guy, like, I don't leave my house. The fact that you do TV shows in Australia, like, I want,
It's watched by 5 people. It's
It
a
doesn't
very
matter.
small population.
It was the number 1 show in Australia.
number one
yeah.
show.
Number
right?
one's over-
Number 2 was Ghost
It was
Whisperer
in a fucking
reruns.
flicker book.
So it was a show called Thank God You're Here, and it's an improv show where you walk in a room and they go, "Thank God You're Here," and you're thrown into a scene.
It's
Like,
been cancelled. It
Yeah.
couldn't have been that good.
and they had it in 22 different countries. It's syndicated.
They canceled Mesh.
Yeah, I know. That's
They
true.
canceled Law and Order.
Yeah.
Well, that's NBC. They could
Law
fuck
and
up
Order.
Toast.
Was that big? I've never watched Law and Order.
Oh, it's the
And-
best, and it never ends. It's like 44 years of awesomeness.
All right, so back
so-
to fucking a little ginger girl.
So I get in the car
From
with
Australia. Can you imagine how many freckles this girl would have had?
And she pitched for the Cubs.
Yeah.
I just kept waiting for one of you to take it as my guests. As my guest. I kept waiting for you to take it.
I'm a little slow.
You're not slow.
They, the girl.
You're dull.
Where
I want his fucking word on the street for England. I'm just gonna fucking kill you the rest of the half hour just to
I'll
make
make
Jeffries
sure you don't
like
work
me.
Australia then.
What?
I'll make sure you don't work Australia.
You just
then.
saved me a 16-hour plane ride. What do I care?
Yeah. I can do a little bit of
What do you
work.
want me to
Even
get
does
on?
the face well.
You know, big deal. You saved me, being on Qantas in a sleeper seat, renting Equus and taking Cliff Notes.
Do you know what a Qantas first class ticket is to Australia?
What?
Guess how much?
7.
No, Qantas first class, not business.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I just want to do the Brian Regan bit. $44,000.
Pretty close. 25,000.
Well, fuck. It's worth it.
Quarter of.
Write it off.
I'm going out first class to
25,000.
Australia in April.
You are going first?
Yeah.
How much does it
You're
cost?
paying $25,000.
I'm not paying. The promoter's paying. I'm doing an atheist convention.
Oh, I forgot.
Are you really?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to that later. But first, you fucked an 8-year-old ginger girl that pitched for the Cubs?
And in the
Ginger Beaumont?
in the car, I said to her, I go, who are you? Like, I said, how did you get on the show? Did you audition? She goes, oh, I'm a singer. And I go, oh, you're a singer.
She had a single called Strawberry Kisses.
And I go,
When she was 14.
That's horrible.
And I go,
I don't know what's worse. The title, Jim Jefferies
14,
raising.
it was Strawberry Kisses.
It gets
Jim
worse.
Jefferies says it and raises his eyebrows at me. And it's making it worse.
I'm walking down the street with her later that night, and everyone's yelling Strawberry Kisses while we're walking down the street. And I'm like, what are they fucking? She's like, oh, it's one of my singles. And I go,
And one of your nicknames. It was
I know.
coincidental.
Fuck you. I know what you were thinking. I don't remember doing jokes about Strawberry Kisses. That's what you were thinking. I must have had a crazy great ad lib about Strawberry Kisses.
but
We'll have you out here in a little while, Jim. Don't sweat it.
the car driver goes to me.
Starting to rub his eyes.
I go, are you famous? Do people know who you are? And the driver, who hasn't been saying a word, goes, mate, fucking everyone in Australia knows who she is. And I'm like, you're famous? And she goes, yeah. So I go, how? And she tells me about the Olympics. So I run straight to my room with her. We're in the same hotel. And I go, show me this. So she pulls it up on YouTube. She comes down on wires at the opening ceremony.
Like the beginning of a Liberace
She
show.
was the most watched person on earth for fucking 2 minutes of her life.
You know
And that
what?
was it.
Would you trade it?
So right there.
Those 2 minutes.
Just
But
have
you,
sex with Eddie.
yeah. You take your cock out in those 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'd get drunk. And just...
Yeah.
My brother was a sniper during that.
Oh yeah, you told me that. And he
Really?
said he said he could have taken out Nikki
He was on-
Webster.
He's on the
Strawberry
roof.
Kisses.
My brother's a cop, a weapons trainer guy, and he was there in case there was a Monica Sellers moment. And he had Eddie's 8-year-old girlfriend in his sights.
How great would it be when that guy got on the court to stab Monica Salish, whatever the hell, if some sniper took him out halfway up the baseline, like, just to see him drop. Like, we need more of that.
Yeah, you can't shoot people.
Yes, you can if they're going to attack you.
You can at a
Did he have
thing
a
like the
knife or
Olympics.
something?
Of
Did he have
course
a
you can at
knife?
the
They
Olympics.
stabbed. He fucking left the knife in her back.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, she could have sold that shit. Like, she could have been a knife salesman.
Okay, I gotcha. I guess he could then
Stupid
take her out
fucking
with a
joke.
sniper.
They're not all gems. So when do you go back to Australia?
Like 2 weeks.
All right. Fuck Bindi.
I'm in trouble. No, I'm not
Bindi
saying.
Irwin.
I got in so much trouble for
Posted
making
to
fun
the
of Bindi.
Hello, mate.
If someone's going to have daddy issues.
I'm very precocious.
Because she was the reason he died. It was for her documentary. Normally he doesn't
I didn't
swim
know
with
that.
fishes. Yeah, it was,
I'm not
she
saying a
had her
word.
own
Perennially-
show.
now he's always
she had
swimming
her
with
own
the
show,
fishes.
and he was a
Luca
guest on it.
Brasi.
That was the equivalent of the dad who tried to catch the baseball and fucking died.
Hello.
Yeah, right. That was the same thing. And yeah, so she's got to have some issues.
Yeah,
She's cute as hell.
Oh, she's going to be great.
And you know, you should just show her Land Shark by Chevy Chase over and over again. Land Shark.
You know where?
My nickname for her would be Stingy.
Hey, you know, that just reminds me. You know where I'm staying next week in Seattle?
Hold on, let me guess. I don't fucking.
Seattle hotel. Famous thing happened there. Nope.
Coffee.
Led Zeppelin.
Starbucks.
This is a horrible
Yeah,
game.
the mud shark. Do you know about this?
What?
They fucked a girl with a mud shark.
They fucked a girl
Google
with a
mud
fish?
shark and look at it.
So they go to the market.
They look at the mud shark and some guy goes, "This looks like a cock," and they go, "Let's get it." And they buy it and they fuck a groupie with the mud shark.
How big's a mud shark?
It's pretty big.
How big's its head?
Bigger than you.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just
I didn't. Now I do.
It looks like Curtis Martin's cock.
Curtis Martin? Nice.
I
Number
don't think
28.
that's so gross. It would be slippery and slimy and all that type of stuff. I don't think that's so weird.
Look, Robert Plant and Jimmy, it's not like, you know, John
The
Paul
Stones
Jones
had that
was holding
Mars
it.
bar incident.
The Stones fuck someone with a Mars bar?
Yeah, with the Mars bar. That was what it was alleged.
How old's Bindi now?
Oh, I don't keep in
Not
touch.
enough.
Really?
No, she
Yeah.
wouldn't
No,
be that.
she's young.
15,
No, less than
maybe.
that. Less than that.
What are you talking about?
I got in a lot of trouble
Can
last year.
someone
I made
Google
fun of her on a
this,
TV
please?
show.
Hold on, I want to hear about Eddie F.
If you Google-
you deny it, but then every story you have, he's talking about whorehouses and fucking pissing on the bar and singing, and you go, I got in trouble last time. All your stories involve you getting in trouble. You're like
Without
a
the trouble.
hooligan.
He
But I
just
try
says-
You
not
should have been
to.
in the Who.
Eddie's always got an excuse for his trouble as well. He didn't start it. It wasn't his fault. He just ended it by taking his shirt off.
Hold your mic close. He's going quick. So I take the shirt off.
That's Eddie's go-to move.
Yeah.
He takes his
I
shirt
did
off
it
when
once.
he's drunk.
I did it
and
one
he goes,
time.
He goes,
I don't know
I'm
why I
a
did it.
fighter.
I know why he did it. He saw it on Cops once. He thought it looked cool.
That's the Incredible Hulk is where he saw it.
Don't make me. So what happened with you and Bindi?
Fiona O'Loughlin, really funny Australian comedian that we're both friends
Who
with.
has a daughter called Bindi.
That's true, she does.
Yeah.
And
Come on.
And she's
What the
fuckable.
fuck is Bindi?
It's an Aussie name.
What it is Bindies. No, Bindies are
That's a
Bindi.
Joey.
No, what they are is a Bindi eye is a little tiny thing that grows in the grass that like a weed that sticks into your foot because Australian grass sucks balls. But they've genetically modified it so Bindies have died out over the last decade.
Australian grass sucks balls.
Yeah. It sucks
What's that?
balls.
I don't know what that means.
why
It's
does
all
it?
weedy and stuff. You can't walk
Oh,
on
it's
it
bad
with,
grass.
You can't walk on it with bare feet because it's
Yeah,
full
yeah.
of Bindies, and Bindies hurt your feet.
So why would you name your kid if there's something that hurts your fucking feet?
Because kids hurt your feet, don't they? I don't know.
You got a point. Yeah, I got a kid Bindi there, you know. Yeah. So tell us your.
Fiona talked about slapping her around. Her name came up because we were on some show with some faggy dude that
Now you're gonna get in trouble
Now
for
you've
him.
got to fill in that Fiona's on and off again alcoholic
Yeah.
of the furthest, and she's a friend of both of ours.
Fiona's the funniest woman, one of the funniest female comedians
Hysterical.
alive. She's done shows where they have to pay the entire audience, give them their money back because she's so shit-faced. She's repeating
She did
all her
one
material.
show where she was talking about her sobriety, where she had a therapist chair, where every now and again she'd go into the therapist chair and act out that she was in therapy. There's 2,000 people in the audience. Fiona lays down in the chair, falls asleep, right? For fucking like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Where she's asleep, right? We got the same manager and we're friends with Fiona. I've heard it from her
Greg
and
Vincent.
right? And so
Reuben
this is
Kincaid.
my straight man. So what happens is
Nothing?
she falls asleep. An audience member gets up on the stage, sort of goes, "Are you all right?" And she goes, "You can all fuck off!" And they all let her sleep, and they just walk out of the theater.
It's very Andy Kaufman.
She's very Catholic. She's got like 5 or 6 or 7, so many kids she can't even remember.
All named Bindi.
She was on Dancing with the Stars and she showed up drunk.
She lost
She's
one of her
awesome.
kids in the liquor store. Just lost him. Got in the car and drove home and forgot that she left one of her kids in the liquor store.
I love it.
She is.
So she fell asleep on stage, but Dick Shawn, you know him?
No.
He was in The Producers, Springtime for Hitler.
Yeah.
He had a Broadway show, and in the intermission, he would just take a little nap on the stage. And then the second act, I think, started with him laying on a park bench, laying down, like with the newspaper over his face.
Yeah.
And a stagehand would, he just somehow had this magical power to wake up when the curtain came up. And he fucking died on stage. And his son, Dick Shawn, he died on stage
That's
on
awesome.
Broadway. And then his son happened to be at that show, and the audience is like going titter, titter, like laughing, like this is kind of uncomfortable. And his son finally stands up and goes, "This is not part of the show." But it's a comedy.
Yeah.
It'd be like if you saw Colin Quinn.
Well, Tommy Cooper died on stage, who's a very famous British comic, who was one of these guys who sort of, he did magic, and then it was sort of wrong, and everyone could see what he was doing. and he wore a fez hat.
Yeah.
Very, very,
Chips Cooney.
very, very famous. I don't know who Chips Cooney is.
It's one of Otto and George's underlings.
All right.
One of the funniest 5 minutes
Picture
of
Otto
comedy
and
you'll ever
George.
see.
Now picture guys that are underlings to Otto and George.
Right.
A magician
Best 5 minutes of
that
comedy you'll ever see.
he does coke with.
Well, so Tommy Cooper dies.
Yeah,
and
it's
he
type
sort of
5.
went, oh, and then he really famous guy. He fucking just passed on stage. Everyone thought it was a joke, right? And then the next comic fucking just comes out to do listen to TV gig, right? The next.
What happened to why don't we take a
No,
when
no, no.
Crispin Glover karate kicked Letterman's face?
It's the BBC. There's no commercials. You
Oh, I
got to
didn't
keep
know.
going,
Oh, 'cause it's owned by the government because you're fucking socialists.
right?
It's like Tommy Chong with diarrhea.
So
my
the next
God.
comic comes out.
Shelby Chung
They
is diarrhea.
drag him back. They drag him back, but they don't drag him the whole way. The next comic's performing on stage, and his feet are still sticking out like the Wizard of Oz.
You got hit by a house.
Yeah. His feet are still sticking out.
Did anybody take his shoes?
Yeah, you can get it on YouTube somewhere, but it's Tommy Cooper, yeah. A hugely famous guy.
This is one of the best stories I've ever heard. They dragged him kind of upstage. But
They thought he was all the way, but his feet were still sticking out.
But then why doesn't the guy in the camera truck go, why don't we go to 2? Cut to 2?
You're pretty sure they're trying to resuscitate him because the feet are kicking a little.
I gotta see this. Is there footage of this?
I've seen it on TV, but
I can't believe Eddie If is going to have sex with Bendy.
Tommy Cooper dies.
In a few years.
Tommy
Cooper.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Did you ever host at colleges? They ever make you host an event, like a talent show or something?
Always. The lip sync shows.
I hosted a talent show
Karaoke.
somewhere in Indiana, and one of the kids, their talent was they fought together. These two kids came out and did a choreographed sword fight. And I'm hosting the event.
got it?
I'm hosting the event,
His
and
own
all of a sudden,
fucking
one of the
magician's
kids
assistant
does
is laughing
like
like,
too
"Oh,
wrong of a
Tommy."
move, like the kid misses the block.
And that guy didn't go
The other
down
kid
like,
takes the sword
like
and
this is a
fucking
pratfall.
stabs him
He
right in the
obviously
head.
died.
Blood starts squirting everywhere.
He died.
And
It was
just
like
fucking
a,
sword
as
comes
awkward
down
as
his head.
Beyonce's
Gash right
pregnancy.
across
He
the sword.
he
Blood squirting
flopped
everywhere.
in,
And
like
the
onto
kid
his
just
back,
kinda
and then he started
falls
convulsing
down,
a little bit.
and the what are you mother gonna do? comes You gonna running jump on out of the stage, crowd and go they in there gotta like rush this kid off?
No, but the
They-
audience
I'm not-
is-
if I'm paying my ticket-
Tommy was so unpredictable. The audience are fucking lapping it up. Like, here he goes.
I saw a guy miss a
Time
putt
out.
once on a golf course, and then another guy fucking like fainted over, and I was like, I thought it was like, he lost a bet or something, and he was like, oh fuck, and I'm like, that's a far way to go, to like show how pissed off you are about missing a putt, and then I sat there, I'm like, I think that guy's dead.
Was it on TV or was it
No, I was sitting. I had just finished playing the hole, and I'm sitting there watching. It was the 18th hole. I'm watching
golf.
guys come up, and
play
all
golf?
of a sudden, a woman jumps over the balcony and goes running down. And I was like, I better call 911. That guy's fucking dead. And sure enough, they said he was dead when he hit the ground. Like, it looked like he just fainted.
Do you play golf a lot?
No, I never.
I was on a
played.
plane where a guy died.
That was like one of the few. Yeah,
That
this is a-
scares the shit
This is
out
a
of me.
funny
there was,
story.
There was still fucking 6 hours of flight left.
Were you over the ocean?
Yeah,
The ocean?
The guy fucking had a heart attack
in Pennsylvania?
His
next
wife
to his
was with
wife.
him.
Next to his wife, and then they went, is there a doctor on the plane? There's a doctor on the plane, and doctors love that, don't they? They fucking,
Yeah.
I'm a foot doctor. Sorry, I'm no help. If there's any problems with feet, come back
Does
to
he
me.
have feet in his heart?
Yeah, so the guy fucking, a few rows forward from me, fucking boom, 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 has a heart attack. Then his wife has to sit next to him for the next 6 hours.
And then I like when Arnold goes, don't wake my friend, he's dead tired. Is that Commando? So,
That was,
They
listen,
stuck, him in, they
at her
stuck the guy in
best.
the back.
Eddie If fucked Alyssa Milano right after that movie
Oh,
wrapped.
I would have loved that.
She's the snapper of doom.
My agent's married to her.
Which one?
Dave Bullieri, one of my movie guys. They just had a kid together.
Every baseball player she slept with, career ended. She had the snapper of doom for a while. Brad Penny.
Well, he hasn't got me a movie lately. So.
And I don't have a career, so.
You guys have the same manager?
No, it's my
your
agent.
agent?
My agent is married to Alyssa Milano. Yeah.
Have you, it seems like, I heard Dom Herrera talking about it on Ron Bennington interviews that when you go, American audiences are way more ignorant and self-centered than when you go abroad. Like if I go to England, they know who Obama is. They know Dick Cheney shot
Sure,
someone in
yeah.
the face. But if a British comedian comes here and talks about the Prime Minister, we're like,
who's
what
the Prime
fuck's he-"
Minister right now?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I know John Major.
You're fucking, that's it. Like,
It wasn't even the
15
last one.
years ago, you've just
That's my
referenced.
point.
David Cameron.
I think it's David Cameron, isn't it?
David Cameron, yeah.
David Cameron, and he was
a posh
the Union Party.
There's no Union Party.
Which party did he run
He's a
for?
Tory.
He's a Tory?
Yeah.
You guys let a fucking Tory in? Is that good or bad?
No, the Tories are the posh cunts, and the Labour Party's the working class people.
But there was a third guy, a Labour Party guy, that almost stole that shit. I remember. I am a little more well read.
Actually, I don't know this guy, but it's there's another party called the Lib Dems, and the Lib Dems no one ever thought they'd do any good, and they did really well, and so it's we've got two prime ministers.
What?
They got
That's
two
not true.
guys. Yeah, the two parties joined together, and they've
really?
They've got a coalition
In
England.
But see, you're Australian and you're talking English.
No, but I lived there
there.
for a long time, so I feel like I lived there for 8 years. Yeah.
What, Eddie? You got something?
Have
on
you
your
seen the
phone?
Australian Prime Minister drinking the beer?
No.
That's the fucking best thing ever.
Let me tell you something. I did 4th of July. I did comedy for Pearl Harbor. All the troops. They have this thing, rim pack exercises.
When
where
you do it in a scuba tank,
I did.
'cause
And
they're
then
all dead under the ground.
no, but we visited those guys.
No, that's sad.
And there's Japanese tourists getting their picture taken
That's fucking
at the
weird.
Arizona Memorial.
That's
That'd be
weird.
like,
But they're feeling bad about it.
no, they're
No,
not.
they're
They're like,
not.
ah,
They're going,
kimchi,
congratulations.
take my picture.
They're going,
Rockets.
remember Hiroshima.
And that'd be like us, like a German guy going to like Auschwitz, like, peace.
Yeah, they do go to Auschwitz though.
The Germans?
Yeah, of course they do. They feel better. It's in Poland.
But they don't get down on one knee and do like, throw 2 fingers up, like, what's up?
yeah, no,
And it's a bunch of Japanese people. And
they all stand like this. They fucking love
that's
it.
good. But the thing with the Arizona Memorial, like, you have to take a boat. It's in the middle of
I've done it. Yeah, I've
Pearl
gone out
Harbor.
there and seen it. Yeah,
And it's the most somber thing. There's still oil leaking
and there's
from
still
the
bodies in there or whatever.
when
They
guys-
never took the
this
bodies
is the coolest
out.
thing in the world. I know you know this and love this. When guys that survived that Pearl Harbor attack on the Arizona,
Ben Affleck.
when they die, Ben Affleck, for example, when he
Yeah.
dies,
Got back in the
he'll
plane.
get cremated and they inter him. They put him back in so he can be with his brothers there. That's badass, man.
It's got to be turmoil though. If you believe in ghosts, it's got to be bullshit.
Or it's a great fucking like woo ghost party.
We never had to go to war.
There's still segregation.
Yeah, we all got to die in our Hawaiian shirts. That's right. Like that's the nice thing about Pearl Harbor. They got to wear Hawaiian shirts when they died. They didn't have to be all caught up. You know what I mean? They're all
It's
smoking
unbelievable.
Cigars. Yeah.
And the Australians saved the day, and I'm going to tell you how.
Australia, we
Always
had the
did.
same thing happen to us like a week later in Darwin, and it's never fucking put in the history books.
It was in the Baz Luhrmann
It
film.
was in the movie, but before that movie, no one knew the fuck about it. As many people died.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good. All right, relax.
Not
He's ready
as
to come
many
across
people?
the treadmill and hit me.
We're 2 of you or 1.
Yeah.
How are you burning your ab calories sitting on that
Not at
stupid
all.
ball?
Not
What
at
a
all.
jerk!
I'm
You
leaning.
look like an
Fucking
idiot.
leaning.
Why don't you just
Why
sit
did
on the
Australia
floor?
save
My
the day?
fucking abs of steel.
Because you'll like this. It's all countries. It's basically the Olympics for submarines and destroyers, and they go out in the ocean.
And we
they
have a
do
lot of
shit.
them because we're...
Yes, but you are the only you're the only Navy that allows beer on the ship.
Sure.
So you guys, it's like the Australians are here and everybody fucking parties. They didn't know this in Pearl Harbor, but if a Japanese ship, which by the way, unconditional surrender, what the fuck are you doing with the Navy, Japan?
Yeah.
That was kind of the deal, was you never fucking reassemble this shit ever again. You're done.
Sure.
But they're there. But the Japanese and Koreans, you can't let them see each other's flags or they'll go crazy. They'll like fucking throw rocks at each other or worse.
Yeah.
So they they didn't know what to do and they found out way too late. And the Australians went, hello, mate. How about we just take our big fucking filled with beer, drunken destroyer,
2 beers per
and they
man,
parked
perhaps.
it in the middle of the harbor so the 2 ships couldn't see each other. So if you were on the Australian ship, which everyone was, just drinking and getting fucked up, you look to your right, it's the Japanese, and they're all in their periscopes looking over like, waiting for that Australian ship to move. And the Australians would keep like starting the engines, like acting like they were going to like they were going to leave. And then the Koreans and the Japanese would get all fucking crazy.
And then they'd laugh and have another beer. And
Yes. It was
yeah,
the best.
policy of the Australian military is the actual policy is 2 beers per man per day, perhaps.
I was going to say, how long does that last? But you guys have an underrated military.
Never
You guys
lost a
are
battle except for Gallipoli.
What's Gallipoli?
Gallipoli is like
Play for the Celtics?
It's from World War One. It was a battle in Turkey. It was like Mel Gibson's second movie. It's a really good film.
World War One?
World War One, yeah.
No one won World War One. Everyone sat in a fucking muddy ditch.
They still made old Australians who hate Turkish
this is
people.
pretty bad.
They made them
Everybody
run
hates
over.
Turkish
They used to
people.
make them run over
Look
the
at
wall
their
and they just
homes.
killed them.
They got big concrete cats
the English
in the foyer.
The English called it Operation Body Shield, where they made all the American black and the Australians run over the wall, so the Turkish would just mow them all down while they pull their boat around the other side.
How did the Australians get lumped in with? Did they even know that
We were the fucking convicts. They hated us.
They were all British.
They were all British. We were ruled by the British military.
It's a Commonwealth.
When you're in Australia, are you aware that there's like a civil rights struggle going on in the United States? Does it make
the Australian news?
Let the guy from Pittsburgh answer Australian civil rights questions.
Well, when I live in Australia, I
Cokehead.
say the Australian news is mostly English centric. Like they don't listen to. They do now America, but it was mostly because they're part of the Commonwealth. They mostly get like British news. So
We have our own news.
Yeah, but nothing really goes on there.
Yeah, but you know things like
Shark attacks.
Steve's lost his bike.
Yeah.
You know,
Wine's
things like
bouquet smelled like an Aboriginal's armpit.
A footy player raped a girl. That's like
that's
like
a big
daily
news. When
news.
that
We
happens.
finally beat the All Blacks.
Yeah, exactly.
That hasn't happened.
I know.
No, we've beaten them.
I want to go
times.
back to the guy that had the heart attack in the plane. Where were you going? Where were you leaving from?
I was flying from LA to Britain.
How much was your ticket?
Oh, I wasn't in first class. I'm not Eddie. I
fly business.
It was a reasonable price British Airways ticket, maybe $1,400.
You flew fucking coach for 14 hours?
No. To England, it's 8 hours.
From LA.
From LA, maybe 10 hours from LA, but it's only 6 hours. It's only 5.5 hours from New York.
Yeah. It's an easy one.
Yeah.
All right. So LA to London.
Yeah.
Now what part? So he was over the ocean.
Oh, we'd just fucking gotten over New York.
So why didn't they U-turn and come down into LaGuardia?
He's not going to get more dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's going to rot.
but
They have no policy. I've been on a plane where someone gets sick. They keep going. They don't give a fuck.
I think he was English.
They keep fucking going.
I think he was English, and it's better to be home with his family. But the wife was outstanding. She was like, "Oh, well, he led a good life." I'm like, "Why aren't you freaking the fuck out?"
Shock.
Every time there's turbulence.
Shock.
What?
Shock. You're going to shock.
She was all right. She just sat next to him. They put a towel over his head. So that when we all went to the toilet, we didn't have to look at the cunt.
Why wouldn't they turn around, land at JFK?
Because they don't. I've been on a plane where a guy was having a fucking heart attack, and they kept going. They pulled the guy up from coach.
Where were you going?
I don't even remember. I was on a plane, and I was drunk. I was drinking with some woman who her husband just died, and she's going to sell all his shit. And she said,
the girl from Land of the Lost.
She tells me,
grown up.
She tells me that her husband just died,
Holly.
And she's going to sell all his shit somewhere in Ventura, and she goes,
get a blanket and I'll jerk you off.
You might recognize me. I was in the Olympics.
Strawberry kisses.
Strawberry kisses.
Excuse me. I just realized. Why would you let a child talk about strawberry kisses? That's
it wasn't appropriate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why? What is a strawberry kiss?
It's your fucking vagina.
Is it really?
I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
No, not yours. Hers.
I didn't know that was what they were called, strawberry kisses.
I didn't give her any strawberry kisses
I
either.
just made it up. No?
No, I just
thought you were
plowed it.
You're disgusting.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that?
I don't, because I was doing it for the story.
That's part of, you didn't even know,
I didn't know about
you didn't know who
strawberry.
she was.
No, I had YouTubed her right before I fucked her.
But you were going to fuck
How
her.
many times has a woman fucked you?
I called
in your
every
life?
Australian.
After she found out you were famous, being introduced by someone, they said to you, "Oh, Jay's famous," and then she's fucked you, and she still hasn't seen any movies. That's happened to me several times.
I don't think I did not have sex with many women because I was famous ever. It was
What?
God,
Why would you be famous? And famous sucks.
I'm not saying I
It's
didn't
the only
try,
bonus of it.
but I always say when you do comedy, you say, and my whole act was to get to that next level of the party.
Sure.
Like what we doing after this.
Yeah.
Don't
I know.
you? Americans always have to try to do Australian and British accents.
Yeah,
and
it's not good.
We fumble the football like Leon Lett on the 1 yard line.
But then I go
man.
for auditions and do an American accent, and they just look at me like I'm retarded. And it's like so much better than fucking any American's Australian accent.
Except for Gwyneth Paltrow. She could do it.
Gwyneth does a great English. Renee Zellweger did a good English in the Bridget Jones movies. If you want to see a bad Australian, watch Daniel Radcliffe that he did an Australian movie. Harry Potter can't do an Australian.
Yeah, but we're American. We don't.
Meryl
we
Streep
notice.
did a good Australian.
The best. Dingoes ate my baby.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we've just had this baby. Let's go for a holiday.
You
Let's see if
say
the baby's
goodnight.
okay on top of a rock.
And you
There's a lot of animals around. Why have we got a baby in a tent for?
leave the baby out on the rock.
Yeah. Like the baby's like a month old. You know what we should do? Take it out to the desert. Anyway.
That's what I do with my
That's
baby.
a good Australian accent.
Yeah, I know. But my mother still believes that Lindy Chamberlain killed that baby. So whenever, because
Was she found not guilty?
well, see, the thing is, she spent 8 years in prison, and then like it's still a debate that goes on to this day.
Like John Benet Ramsey.
Yeah,
but with dogs.
But then now she's been acquitted and people say that she didn't do it. But there was weird things that happened. They found the girl's little matinee jacket. I don't know what I call it the matinee, but the little girl's cardigan folded up and buried under the ground, which says to me, oh, well, that's a murder.
Dingoes are very cunning.
Yeah. And a dingo's never eaten a baby before.
That you know of.
That we know.
How were they going to fucking tell you about it?
Then there was a couple of Aboriginal fellas who said they saw
My dog
it.
would eat a baby.
There's a couple of Aboriginal fellas who said that they saw a baby being dragged away.
That's
because
they did it.
That's because they were drunk on firewater.
Yeah. They've been drinking kava in the middle of the desert. Have you ever drinking that?
No.
That'll fuck you up. I did that in Vanuatu. Kava is
that some shit you do at Burning Man?
This root that's under the ground that's in the Australian area and in tropical islands and stuff like that. And you get it and you just pummel it up into water and it's literally mud. You're drinking mud.
Yeah, I'm going to drink that.
And it'll make you fucking your whole body numb and your eyes white. So you're just like, it's like ketamine.
This sounds like some shit Rogan would do with Doug Stanhope.
Yeah, it's probably. But your whole
float tank.
Yeah.
I did it in Vanuatu out of a tin can.
What the fuck is Vanuatu?
Vanuatu is
Vanuatu is just an island.
Is that where the bar in Star Wars was?
Yeah. It's where, you know, when
He said yeah. He didn't even wait.
Sure.
No matter what I said, I love that. I love when a riff gun is loaded, ready to go. No matter, like when you're on a set or something, you ask a girl how old she is. And she says her age, and you go, nice try. But that girl doesn't realize no matter what she said, you were going to say, yeah, nice try. And she gets all offended. You're like, it's just your fucking turn, you dope. Going back to the original thing is you're on stage, you say goodnight, they all leave that way, you go this way. So to actually get laid, you got to circle all the way back around into the lobby.
I know, it's a lot easier in England, because in England, all the comedy clubs, when you're in the normal, and there's no headliners, everyone's just getting paid £200. And if
I'm not going over there for £200.
No. You'd be
above that.
Theaters. You do theaters.
How much would I get paid over there?
Same as what you get here, 70% of the door.
All right.
Do a theater. It's, maybe more.
No, go ahead.
Anyway, so
You're just doing Colin Quinn faces now. You're not even.
So all the comedy clubs in Britain become nightclubs afterwards. They don't do three shows. They want them to stay in there and drink.
This is how I meet him.
So they move all the tables to the side, and you know what else they do in England? They advertise in bridal magazines. So every fucking gig you do has got 3 bachelorette parties.
What are they called?
Hen parties.
Hen parties. The 3 bachelorette parties. All
He's
with
done a
fucking
good job for
all
you
with
guys.
fucking dingaling cocks hanging off their heads, drinking through cock straws, and just fucking
I'm getting married.
with an
Wow.
L plate around her neck,
Just-
and just some girl
just
who's
ready to
depressed.
fuck.
Some girl who's depressed because she should have been getting married.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, and so you've got literally at a gig, 60 of these women in the room that stay and get pissed afterwards. You're the most famous person in the room. It's the easiest place to get laid in the world, England. Now, America...
Eddie Ift has a smile on his face right now.
America with their rotating, get more people into the gig. I don't even want to fucking talk to a girl that's come to the first show. Because she'll be forgotten, her friends will drag her away. I don't even want to have that bait in my life that I could have fucked that thing. I like the late show girls, and you can only do it through selling merchandise.
Yes.
Waiting up for cues.
But isn't it embarrassing that other audience members are watching you go through the motions?
When you do that, when they go, oh, you going out tonight? You go, where are you going? And you take the number in front of the queue of people.
Yes.
You're pathetic.
Yes.
But you have to do it.
And everyone else in the audience
That's why you have a handler that does that for you.
Yeah, but we're regular
we have a girl in Australia.
I'm not a black guy with a clicker guy.
We've got a Kenny.
We have a girl.
Jamie would really like to talk to you after the show.
We have a girl
Good to see you again, Jim.
We have a girl named Allison who works for us.
Her aim is true.
Yeah, and after the show, she just stands with us and sells the merch, and then she meets girls for us.
Fucked Allison.
And goes,
I was gonna say,
he
why
did.
don't you-
He fucked our handler. He fucked our handler.
Why don't you just fuck Allison?
Yeah.
She's right there.
Yeah. Because Allison does good work. Allison
But
will
everyone in the audience thinks that, I know, believe me, we all know about that. Everyone in the audience thinks that you can go, hi, come with me. And that's how you get your
Sometimes
chicks.
it doesn't.
For you it does, because you're fucking 9-year-olds in Australia with red hair. That fucking parachute into the Olympics. And go,
I'll tell you
when I grow up, my daddy's going to get killed by a stingray.
When I was drinking more heavily on stage and everything, the gig would always end with...
What do you mean when? Your HBO special that they edit around the fucking glass.
Yeah, they did have to. Yeah,
Yes!
and I'm leathered in Alcoholocaust.
Yeah, they watered down his beers too.
Did you say you were leathered?
I'm leathered in
I never heard that
They
before.
watered down his beers. He didn't know it. He kept tasting them going, they're watering
No,
down
that
my
never
beer.
happened.
I thought you told me they did.
No. In between the first and the second filming, I went down and I had a really good first show and I thought it's already in the can.
Yeah.
So I went to get drunk and there was a security guy in the bar that said, Mr. Jefferies, we're not allowed to serve you any alcohol before the second show.
Beat it, asshole. It's my show.
HBO employed a person to make sure that I couldn't smuggle drinks.
Say, you know what HBO stands for? Get the fuck out of the way and get me a cocktail. That's what HBO stands for. You rent a cop.
But
You're
the
gonna
thing was,
fucking mace me, I'll
when
turn
I
my
did
head.
Alcoholocaust in England, my English manager, Brett Vincent, thinks I'm funny or drunk, so he got me leathered before the show.
I think I know where your careers are going off the rails.
And then,
I got these two guys. They're way funnier drunk. Just let them do the movie, but just let them do their thing. What could happen? They could turn into like a Bruce Willis.
and so
and
he
annoy
got me
everyone around
leathered
them.
before the show, and I got leathered, and then like I blacked out and forgot the show. I don't remember doing the actual gig, and so I watched I did the audio commentary for the DVD on it, and I was like, geez, that came out well. I've never told that joke before, but I am a bit ashamed of Alcoholocaust because I was so drunk on it.
But it's a great special.
Oh no, it did come out well. I'm really happy with it.
Why don't you help Eddie get a special?
Yeah, seriously.
He doesn't drink enough.
No, when I drank, I'm much funnier drinking. Much.
But in all seriousness, do you ever...
My next special, I'll be sober.
No, I don't give a fuck if you're sober or you drink, but your roommate's a funny guy. Like, doesn't it ever come up like, Jim, maybe you could fucking mention
help
me?
the guy.
I got to get myself specials. How am I going to get
I don't have one.
You've never had a special?
Jay Mohr and I are doing them for
Comedy Central
Showtime.
10 years ago when I weighed 150 pounds, I looked like I was dying.
I'm doing another one in April.
You need to know, really?
Rub it in.
Yeah.
Rub it
Your
in.
third one.
Yeah.
You're like the David Brenner of Australia. You prick. You keep doing special after
You
special.
just got to hound him and tell him that you...
Who?
I want to do one now because I want to retire this material and then do another one maybe in December.
So not only do you do 3 specials, but then in a roundabout way, you backhand compliment yourself and make me and Eddie feel like shit because you are now have retired 3 hours of material.
Yes.
Eddie and I'm still closing. I'm going on stage closing with Walken every night. And you're like, you know what? Let me just do a special so I never have to do Norm or Colin again.
Well, I'm more worried about... I've got some material that I've stopped doing now that if I don't record it, I won't remember it in time.
Well, why can't you help him get a special?
He's had a half-hour special.
Half hour.
A half hour.
They give that to
JB
everyone
Smoove
that's done
has
an
had a
open-
half hour special.
He's got an hour now.
I don't know what he's saying.
He's got a... I think
Do you know what he's saying?
Yeah.
I'm not.
My
Hold on.
first gig in America, he was my support act at Cobb's in San Francisco.
Eddie?
You supported him, I thought.
No.
Oh,
he was
JB
my
Smoove?
support.
I'm not making a joke. I have no idea what he's saying.
Something motherfucker with him, motherfucking.
And on Larry,
motherfucker.
what's Curb Your
Curb Your
all I hear is
Enthusiasm.
Larry.
I think he's funny. I think he's funny as fuck.
I'm watching a commercial of his stand-up special. He's wearing fucking airplane goggles.
He wears cowboy boots as well. He's
Raucous.
but then he says motherfucker. But he's the furthest from that guy in real life.
He was on my intramural basketball team.
He's not like that in real
Corielli,
life.
Kevin Hart, and Sherrod Smalls.
Oh, that sounds like our team of winners.
It was. Pete Corielli can drain it from the
Can
three.
he really?
Yes. The only guy that couldn't shoot was me. When
Kevin
the guy,
Hart can play too?
for a guy that's 4'1",
But Bugsy?
he was the trophy.
Bugsy Bugs.
He was the trophy. Kevin Hart, when we won, we just held him up.
I would really love to play in a sporting team, but I know I'm so bad at it, and I haven't played for so many years. I assume I'm going to be worse.
Yeah,
But
when
I'd
you-
like to be involved in it.
But you know what the fun thing is you sub in, and we just call out some play to you, and you just act like you're good, and you let it unfold. That's what
No,
happened
we
with
let him
me.
play softball in Australia. It was embarrassing.
Softball, there's no hiding.
You were bad.
Basketball, you can hide.
I hit the ball. I made it on the base twice.
I struck out
I did. I made it on the base twice.
yeah,
the
but
base.
I was drunk.
First to and back. I did good, Daddy. What the fuck?
what's that from? I
I don't know. It sounds like a Maria Bamford
I thought it was
character.
what's his
Baby,
name?
look pretty now, mommy.
What was the Corky when he burned down the house? That's for you, Dad. Do you remember? Did you ever see the episode where he burned down the house? You've seen it.
No, I like girls. I'm not watching fucking Life Goes On.
It's fucking amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
You know who Corky is?
Yeah, he's a Downy.
The Down syndrome.
Yeah. I
And now
know
that's
of him.
for you, Dad.
I know him in infamy. I've never actually seen him.
If he
Is
was in
still
infancy,
alive?
Yeah, he's
Eddie,
in a
if he
band
was in
now.
infancy, Eddie F would be fucking him.
Yeah.
We learned a lot in this podcast.
She
I
was
want to know.
legal. She was legal.
Sure. It's a different time. It was a different time then.
Statute of limitations.
I want to know what happened with the guy in the heart attack on your plane.
Oh, he didn't have. He was having one. He was like, and they put him down next to me. I'm with this chick who's going to see her sell her her husband's dead shit.
I guarantee you, Jim, the guy with the heart attack got cognizant enough to stand up and challenge Eddie to a fight. That's where the story's going.
Yeah, the story's going to end with he didn't have a heart attack. He was choking on a pretzel.
No, so they put him on the ground, and the flight attendant starts going. We're on one of those. What's the planes when it's 2 and 2 or 2 and 3? The small plane, 737.
The smaller one.
So she starts going. The flight attendant goes on the mic.
Really a stickler for details there, Dennis Miller.
Is there a doctor on the plane? Nobody answers. Is there a nurse on the plane? Nobody answers.
Is there an X-ray technician on the plane?
Is there a paramedic on the plane?
Has anyone here ever been to the doctor on the plane? Have you played doctor as a child?
I leaned over to the chick that I was drinking with and I went, I'm a comedian.
Why would you do that? A man's dying.
He's trying to get laid.
Because we were fucked up. But anyways, they just fucking kept going. We flew
Down
to our
the list.
destination. We flew to our
You don't remember
destination.
what it is, your destination.
It could have been coming back here because I think the chick was going to like Ventura to fix her husband's shit. And, but I was like, he's gonna die. Like land on a highway. You know,
Yeah.
I want to land on a highway. Ambulances pull up. You grab this guy out because it's a selfish reason. I'm looking at like, I want this to happen if I'm on the plane. Now every time I'm 15 hours on a plane, I'm thinking, if I die, they just shove me in the back in the ice cart.
I think that every time.
You do?
Always.
Yeah.
Every time. And when I drive across country, when I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm like, what if I have a heart attack right here? Like, who's going to get me?
Nobody
So
really
what do
cares.
they do to this guy?
Meanwhile,
Why
a
do
little
they
girl
get
gets
these
stuck in a sailboat
weird.
out in the middle of the ocean, and they'll send the Coast Guard, fucking Navy ships. And you remember when that girl was sailing around the world
Yeah.
and she got lost? And they send like 5,000 people, but some guy on a plane. No, fucking businessmen got to get to Toluca Lake for their meeting.
You can't stop a heart attack in time by landing. You just don't have the time.
But you can go
But you
save
take
a
them to
little
a
girl
hospital.
who can't even drive
No,
a car,
you can't.
but can sail a boat around the country.
Docking in, getting in. That's an hour trip from when you're in the air
So
to the
fuck it,
hospital.
he's dead.
He's
But
dead.
he didn't die, though, is the point.
Yeah, he didn't die. They landed and the
Then what's the
ambulances were
problem?
right there.
You don't know he's not going to die,
Yeah,
Jeffries.
there wasn't even a paramedic to say.
Either he
choked
does
on a peanut.
or he doesn't.
That's life.
Yeah, sunrise, sunset.
So why do you go get that little girl that's sailing around?
Because you can save her.
Yep, but putting fucking 500 people's lives at risk by going to
I
get
think
her.
those people should die, but that's
Yeah.
an emotional story that plays out on the news.
Like,
That's
bitch,
different.
you got a compass. Figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
This guy can't go, you know what? Let me fix my heart. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
How was your heart, Jim?
I thought I had a heart attack once. It was just indigestion.
I've done that every
But
day.
apart from that, my heart's fine.
Burps are the greatest thing in the world when that happens.
When do you drink again?
I've got
Tomorrow.
No, I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking until at least February 9th.
But why do you stop at all?
Because I feel better when I've stopped. But I really enjoy drinking, but I feel physically better when I've stopped. And I get depressed after a night of drinking now. I never used to. I used to wake up after being drunk and feel like I'm awesome. Right?
I fucked Allison.
Yeah. I used to be like, yeah, fucking there's some chick and there's this thing, and then I got kicked out of that place and thrown down some, and I used to like be proud of that.
Yeah.
And now I wake up ashamed. Which
'cause
is
you're
like
older.
it's
Because
a different
things have
thing.
happened.
Yeah? How did you two meet?
What do you mean shit happened?
Well, like the cops in the neighborhood when you were walking by.
Oh, yeah, that was nothing.
The cops pulled him over for drunk walking.
In Venice?
Yeah.
And then
Everyone's drunk in Venice. They have the canals.
how
just so you
drunk
can-
was he then?
I was pretty drunk.
And the cops go, let's see your ID. And he goes, let me see your badges.
The ones that they wear on their
I
chest.
fought fire with fire, like I was mind fucking him.
And how did it work? How did it all end?
I walked home. They
let
didn't
go.
get me. Obviously, I was charming enough to fucking get away with it.
You are a charming
I've never
man.
been arrested before, and I've said a lot of lippy things. So
How was your pitch at the Cubs game? Where did it go? Did it
it
bounce?
went about 6 feet off to the left.
But he caught it. 'Cause some-
He scooped it out of the dirt. Yeah, he did catch it. Yeah.
I did it once at an Expos game, and it was not good. I almost bounced it. And then I did it once at a Houston Astros game playing the Houston Improv, and I went, fuck it. And I threw that shit as hard as I could.
It's got to be nerve wracking.
It is. And you feel, it's like You've never, he said, like you're holding cancer. You've never thrown a ball before in your life. Never mind the hours you and your dad in the yard and the little league.
Yeah.
You're just standing there like holding this Fabergé egg and there's some fucking backup catcher. It's never the real catcher.
Yeah.
It's the guy, well, I might get in if they run through the whole roster. It's always that asshole that catches for you.
My guy wasn't even nice to me. I apologized for not getting it there, and he just sort of looked at me like...
Baseball players are dicks. They're the most coddled fucking douches of all time. And they travel. They're only with other baseball players for 15 years.
The worst bit is...
And then when they go home, they get divorced.
They gave me seats 5 rows behind the dugout, and I had to walk off the field through rows of people booing me, yelling, "Go home to Australia."
And Cub fans are known to be nice.
No.
Yes. That's the north side. That's the white
Like,
line.
they did it, and then
that's
there
like
was
49er fan
a
versus
few
Raider
guys
fan.
sitting around going, "Oh, don't worry, it could happen to anyone." And
Yeah,
and
like
then,
Kelly Clarkson didn't throw a strike. You know what I mean? Who did they? Oh my God. The Cubs will never win because their pitchers apparently drink Jack and Coke. We learned that Allison
Wasn't there a famous pitcher
sell merch
who
and
was
have sex
on
with you.
acid, and he went out on acid and he threw it into the crowd.
He threw a no-hitter or a perfect game on LSD?
He threw a perfect game, and it's on YouTube. Him talking about it. Is it? Oh my God.
Good for
I'll
him.
find it for you.
Oh, I thought he went out and just threw it into the stand, and then
No,
like,
he threw a
punched out
perfect-
like a fucking mascot or something
A perfect game
on acid.
on acid. And it was, it
Weren't
seemed,
Babe Ruth and all those guys fucked up all the time?
on
though, didn't
beer,
they? Just to get drunk?
beer and hot dogs.
Yeah.
It seems like most no-hitters in baseball happen, not these days, but in the 50s, it was always, it's not your turn, so you're just fucking drunk,
Yeah.
and you roll into the park, and they go, Whitey Ford can't pitch, Don Larson. You got to pitch game, whatever, the World Series. And Don Larson pitches a perfect game in the World Series, drunk, like, still drunk.
I do everything better drunk. Everything.
You one of those assholes who are like,
Right.
I drive better drunk. Give me my
Yeah,
keys.
You can't seem to
No,
order food
I won't
appropriately.
drunk drive
McDonald's
anymore.
drunk.
I used to drunk drive, but I will not. I will not do that because I'm just so afraid of jail or killing somebody. But
Why? Jail seems like your perfect place.
No,
Everybody fights with their
I
shirts
don't
off.
You can work out all day.
I don't like being
There's
handcuffed.
a gym.
Doc Ellis pitched he was on LSD. He pitched. It wasn't a perfect game. It was a no-hitter.
That's fucking good though.
yeah.
What's the difference between a no-hitter and a perfect game?
Perfect game. No one walks. No one.
No, no
you
one
ball
walks
four,
or
take your
anything.
base. Like no one ever touches.
Because I
first
assume
base.
they still lost the game. It was a no-hitter. He walked a
You
lot
can't.
of guys.
Guys have lost no hitters.
I saw Tim Salmon throw one in Little League for the Reds when I was in Little League. Some kid threw a perfect game, and it's not hard to do in Little League, but it was like phenomenal. People were talking about this kid being like
Was Tim Salmon from
Tim
the
Salmon.
Angels?
No, another Tim Salmon. But it was the most amazing thing ever.
Where's Tim up to now?
He ended up being a tennis player.
Probably a broadcaster.
Yeah, tennis
A
player.
tennis player? It's pretty gay. So you guys met how? And then
We met in England, but then we really met. We were in South Africa gigging together, and I had an AIDS scare, and he was scaring me a lot about that because I fucked a girl. There was blood everywhere in South Africa. 1 in 4 people have AIDS there, and my girlfriend was coming out to visit like 3 days later. And you can't just like start wearing a condom with your girlfriend that you haven't seen for like a month. You have to fuck
You
her.
got to act like you have diarrhea for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
until
so
the test comes in.
I assumed I had AIDS, and then I assumed I passed it on to my girlfriend. And Eddie was there.
You just did it.
Well, I wasn't meant to do. She would be
I showed up.
suspicious.
Hold on. I showed up 2 days late.
She's gonna be more suspicious when her T cell count drops and she's in a fucking hospital room going, "What happened in South Africa?"
So
I show up 2 days late to the festival. Jim's there, and he's usually the most talkative person in the room. And I go, he's moping in the corner. I go, "What's wrong?" He goes, "I have AIDS." And I go, "What happened?" He goes, "I fucked a girl. The condom
The
broke. Blood
skankiest.
everywhere."
Not
She
even-
was skanky. And I go,
She's a South African
and,
nasty girl.
And Jim's looking.
she's Trailer Park, South Africa.
Yeah. Afrikaans.
Was she?
Afrikaans. No, like the Dutch fucking like redneck.
Like that rap
South-
group that's hot now?
Yeah, Diane Wood. And, she's like fucking South African, like fucking,
Yeah.
it's fucking South African.
Fuck me,
Yeah,
Jim
she was-
Jefferies.
And she was after
Skanky.
comedy cock real
Yeah.
bad. And I did it. And there was
She was like
blood
fucking
everywhere.
the fat comic to get to the skinny comics.
So by the time you get to her, she's still get the fat guy in her.
Probably.
pretty much.
So you, ugh.
No, she didn't. Clinton Dunn.
Face.
There's a guy that we call Pie Face called Clinton Dunn. If you want to Google some guy, look, has a more accurate nickname. You never, but this guy,
Is he a rock ape?
He's alright. He's just
He's fucking funny. He drove
He's
me
one of
around
these
South
guys
Africa
that-
giving black guys the finger. He would go into the shanty towns and drive around and just give people, just honk, and people would wave, and he would give them the finger. And I'm like, dude, stop. We're in South Africa. I don't want to die. And he's like, mate, we're fucking white.
But
and I'm like, I don't want to die. Stop doing this.
He's one of these guys that, like, his lies about how his career's going, like,
can't have a career
you
in South
can't
Africa.
just lie to me and say you're rich and then drive that shitty hatchback. I don't believe you. I make $1 million a gig, I do. I every time I go on stage, I make millions and millions of dollars. And then it's like, you don't. And then it's like, oh, I fucked those chicks over there. And then you go, did you fuck him? And they'd be like vomiting, like, no, he's just one of those guys. He's harmless.
But so Jim fucked this girl. And,
so there's a girl that he reckoned he fucked. So I fucked this girl just to spite the fat guy. And then I didn't wear a condom. I lied over the years about that. And there was blood everywhere. And then
Why is there blood everywhere?
She was on a period or something, or it came on during. And that's terrifying in South Africa.
South Africa.
It's like a hatchet wound.
So he's looking for somebody to console him and say, you're going to be okay. And he's like, oh, blah, blah. And he goes, I think I have AIDS. And I go, you do.
So you go and have an AIDS test in
do.
South Africa. It only takes like 20 minutes. I don't give you that 2-week shit because it's Africa and they want to get it all done. They got the machines there ready to go.
Bono hooked it up for everybody.
Yeah. So what you do is you go in and have the fucking test and they go off and take your tube. And in that 20-minute interim, they bring in someone with actual AIDS to comfort you. It's not that bad. I've got a bit of the AIDS. I'm all right. And then they try to hug you and it's like, don't hug me, but maybe in 20 minutes we should have sex. You know,
Talking Shit with Jim Jefferies and Eddie Ift is the podcast. I couldn't find it on iTunes because you guys got censored.
Yeah, it's Talking's Hit.
We're back on now, yeah.
No, but we're Talking's Hit.
Yeah, we got to get a new name because we never get on New and Noteworthy.
Talking Trash. Just make it easy.
They won't put us on New and Noteworthy.
Don't be talking trash.
Talking Trash is all right.
Talking Trash?
Why do you say, why isn't it called Jim Jefferies Podcast where Eddie Ift has sex with redheaded minors?
Wow.
No, I mean minors, like Chilean minors.
Is that,
wow.
No, but if
like minors, the guys that work
if we
in
abbreviate
mines.
that, does that make some quirky
I saw
word?
you on Ghost Whisperer.
There's gotta be a real nice, like, what do you call it when you have initials to something and it spells out?
An acronym.
Yeah, that's gotta be a good acronym. Jim Jefferies Podcast where Eddie Ift has sex with Strawberry Kisses.
Well,
I know, we'll figure it out.
I was
Jim,
fun. It was nice
Jim
being
and
here.
Eddie.
Jim
and Eddie, Jay.
Do a free podcast.
Jim Jefferies, for the
where I just
record, Eddie
come
Ift has
over
never
and
had sex
say
with
hi.
minors.
No, you could spell out the word hash.
Look at the
I'm glad you have all this
guy.
exercise equipment where you don't use.
Wow.
You didn't.
Yes.
You didn't
He
just,
loves bodies. He
you didn't
loves
just
bodies.
show
Did you
Jay
like my
Moore
abs?
your abs.
Let me see
Because he
Wanna see
teased
my
you.
abs? That's a gut right there.
Yeah, and I heard you talking about that. You're like, my family has guts. You eat too much.
No, I come from a long line of guts.
No, you don't. It's fucking.
What was your mom's? What was the name of the elephant?
Gunter. My mother's
Gunter.
my mother's morbidly obese, but
Eddie,
she gets put in hospital
Right,
all the
I gotta
time.
go, though.
She's in hospital constantly, and she goes
From
to the doctor
eating?
Well, she just hypochondriac with
No, I mean, why is she morbidly obese? Does she eat?
from eating.
Okay.
Yeah,
Eating food. Yeah,
It's my glands.
yeah. She said she had polio as a kid, and she uses that for fucking ever.
How about how many fat people go, well, I was in a car accident, like that's how their fat
Is that
story
Ralphie's?
starts?
Have you ever seen? You ever seen that woman that has
Ralphie's
like
the fucking
that
best.
has like a kid, and then that's the reason she's fat, right? But you're like, I knew you before you had the kid. You were always fat.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you know, since I had that kid,
Your mom just eats constantly.
My mother blames me and my brothers
People
for
are
her weight.
emotional eaters a lot of times, and they'll eat fucking.
My mother had chocolate hidden throughout the house. When my brother drew up a map of where all the chocolate was and their use by dates. And if it goes past the use by date, we assume mum forgot where she hid it. Right? And then we had a lot of like, that chocolate that turns white.
Yeah.
If it's been in the sun.
Yeah.
I ate a lot of that. Like just under the couch. You'd pull back a painting and chocolate would fall out like a poker machine paying out.
You a fucking Rockefeller? Who's got paintings in their house?
No, like just a shitty print of...
This is a Rothko. There's chocolate behind it.
Who has a painting in their house? My parents didn't have any original artwork in the fucking house.
It's just an odd thing to hear, like, if you pull back a paint, like, that's where the safe is, behind the painting.
No, it's just a thing hanging on the fucking wall.
Now you're gonna show me your stomach because I broke your balls. Talking guts.
It is depressing, that, isn't it?
Not if you get a tattoo around your belly button.
Fat people shouldn't get tattoos. Only skinny people should get tattoos. I'm very adamant about that.
No, I think anyone should get a tattoo that wants to get a tattoo, Jim.
No, only the thin.
You
Only
are
people
in
with good body.
crazy good shape.
Yeah, it's
You're
fucking
who
crazy.
is in better shape? You or Brian Cameron?
I'll fucking destroy him.
In a fight?
Not
No, in
a
an
fight.
exercise
in a fight,
off.
he'll kill me.
Not in a fight. Brian would kill him.
Callan knows
Are you gonna wear
martial arts.
leg warmers and do
Yeah,
Denise
I will.
Austin
I'll
aerobics?
fucking
like
put on the-
push-ups, he'd
I'll put
win.
on the fucking
Push-ups,
Reebok
shit.
pumps and get in there.
In an exercise contest like Battle of the Network Stars?
Yeah.
Why can't you get him a special?
Yeah,
It's
Jim,
funny.
get me a
Got something. Can
special.
you say what you've got?
But he's opening
I
for
just got a
fucking
pilot.
he's opening
He just
for
got a
fucking
pilot. He
Charlotte.
just got a pilot.
But you got to help him more.
Well,
He needs to get a pilot.
if my TV show gets picked up, and I'll know in the next 10 days, me and O'Fallon are talking every day.
I didn't
right?
get it. I didn't get a part in it.
You got an audition, right? And,
To play myself.
no, it wasn't to play you at all.
We wanted to go in a different direction.
I have a part for him worked out in my head.
If it goes in the fourth year when the characters really evolve.
Yeah.
No, it's episode 3.
Jump the Shark.
There will be a personal trainer, and I want Eddie to play the personal trainer.
Just so he's only in that one episode.
No. The personal trainer is in a few episodes. The storyline of the personal trainer is that he starts training me, and then his life goes downhill through knowing me.
Kind of the true story of what's
So the thing is, but this is the thing.
Unbelievable.
This is the thing is the personal trainer has to get fat, right?
So
he starts off looking like this. I want to see how
you
dedicated Eddie is to his career.
Will you gain weight for an acting part?
Absolutely not.
What?
Why wouldn't you? You're not an actor then.
No. I'm not an actor. I'm a stand-up comedian.
A stand-up comedian?
Yeah, they haven't got good bodies. There's like 5 stand-up comics who have good
Me,
bodies.
Piscopo, Carrot Top,
Rogan?
Callan. That's it. That's
yeah,
it.
that's it.
George Carling, he was very taut.
He had a swimmer's build. All right. This has been Mohr Stories. Thank you both of you for coming.
hasn't been that gay.
I hear that Pryor
This episode
burnt away
wasn't-
all of his fat. Like
He
it was
did.
actually was lean.
Fat burner. He used Excedrin or whatever it's called. Talkings
Hit.
Just put Jim Jefferies already effed into YouTube.
I did, and
It'll-
it's your stand-up specials.
it'll
Every
show
move
up.
you make is to cut him out.